it's mine, whose world is this?
Money mo, money mo, hey, money mo, money mo. Ay! What's up, crypto world? It's your boy Muddy Mo, aka the King of Minnows, aka the Dapp White Paper Gaw, and this is Crypto Dap Yap. Alright, today we're gonna be talking about the Tewkenaire HEX Token project, HEX Too. Alright, and we're gonna give you a full review on that. Now, before I jump into that, y'all already know, man, it's Muddy Mo, the King of Minnows. I gotta talk to my minnows. Alright, as minnows in the crypto space, we have to make sure that we're always chasing the best deal at all times. We got to get in and out of contracts based off of what they're offering us. All right, we can't get too attracted to staying in one contract because it might have worked at one point or another. We always got to be willing to move on to the next best thing. All right, so it's chasing the best deal. Like, for those who eat pizza, right? People can eat Pizza Hut. They like Pizza Hut. They like Papa John's too. And they like Domino's. But what sets them apart? All right, most of the time it's gonna be the best deal. Especially for people that don't have a lot of money or a lot of crypto, it's the best deal. You want to find the best deal. When I was a kid, man, I used to go to the grocery store and I'd be like, why do we always have in our house what's on the shelves on the clearance or on the sales? And I just realized that we probably were saving a lot of money by just shopping according to sales. So always search for the best deal in crypto. Alright? Y'all want to hear more? Stay tuned. Alright, so man, let's jump right off into it. So the Tewkenaire contract, or the Tewkenaire ecosystem, has come out with the new contract, HEX Too. Alright, it's taking Richard Heart's HEX token, and it's basically, to me, it's giving it a use case. But it's almost like a HEX staking that Richard Heart has mixed with BIIIIING together, and it's like a great mixture, and it also is going to bring in some partner dApps. So it's almost like, it's a jack of all trades when it comes to HEX. So it's basically like you got HEX token here, it's HEX token, boom, boom, boom. That's HEX staking under hex.win. That's Richard Hart's thing. Link in the description. And BIIIIIING HEX too. So those who hold BIIIIIING HEX right now, they're probably gonna see a little boost in dividends because people might be jumping to this HEX 2 that's dropping soon. All right. So HEX 2, let's go back to it. So HEX 2, all right. So let's see. It's launching in 8 hours. I think that's like 7 p.m. Eastern time. So that's dope. That's good. So we're gonna break down the site, and we're gonna give you the full review on HEX 2. I already told you guys it's dropping soon. Make sure that you get your HEX tokens. Make sure that you get your HEX tokens together. Get ready to put in this contract. I think it's gonna be really good. So overall, let's just look at the site. I think it's clean and easy to use. It's nice and neat, right? You get on and look, okay, all right, we got the order book, okay, launching time, there we go. Okay, my vault in and out transfer. It looks very familiar, looks clean. Wow, this looks familiar, this staking looks familiar. We're gonna talk about that. Okay, everything looks nice and neat, right? Got the branding colors, I'm loving that. It's got the FAQ at the bottom, all right? But let's take a quick look at the top menu. I think the top menu is neat too. All right, so we've added a couple things up here, right? So we got stable token, we already talked about that, that's fire. We got crazy token, we already talked about that, that's fire. All right, we got HEX 2, we're talking about that now. It has a buy Tron, so you can go to Changelly, I think, and hit that and go to Changelly and buy Tron directly to put in this contract. It's good. Then we got the partners. We know we got a couple partners on Tewkenaire's platform. That's dope. Got the miscellaneous and we got the socials. All right. And if you guys come to these Telegram or even the Twitter, generally speaking, he's really good at, or him or his people are really good at getting back with you and communicating what's going on. So I'll go check that out. Also, I love the fact that this is highlighted. I think that's dope. Like, it's just letting you know, get in, it's new. It's time to go. Now, let's talk about what is HEX 2. All right, HEX token on Tewkenaire. All right, what is it? All right. So, down here, y'all already know, man, Muddy Mo, Dapp White Paper. I love when things are clear on sites. That's dope, right? So here we have, the FAQ, how to use this platform, how does the game work, so forth and so on, all right? So let's jump right off into it. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Ethereum contracts, HEX 2 and HEX token, for that matter, is on the Ethereum blockchain. unfortunately for a lot of us. But if you don't know, in order to interact with this contract, with this HEX 2 contract, you got to make sure you have MetaMask. Get MetaMask on your computer, you get your ETH, and then you can make transactions. Now, that's one thing that's it's going to be a real big problem for the Minnows. I'm talking to the Minnows right now. It's going to be a big problem for us to get in, right? Because these guys are going to put ridiculous gas fees to getting this HEX 2 project fast. So that's the only thing I don't like, that it's on Ethereum. Well, one of the only things I don't like. Alright, so how does this game work? So let's explain. Alright, so HEX 2. Let's look and see what HEX 2 is. HEX 2. So HEX 2, boom. So similar to how Power Bank has Power tokens. Let's go down. You see what is Power HEX tokens? So these are Power HEX tokens, right? You have these tokens. It's got the same thing right here. These HEX 2 tokens. Alright, that's how you move within this HEX 2 contract. Alright, and you know, HEX 2 has its own Ethereum contract, and we can go through that too. But let's go back down and kind of see what they're talking about. So this HEX 2 that we just saw is pegged 1-to-1 with HEX, alright, and it's also dump proof. That's dope. Alright, now I want y'all to pay attention to something, because this is dope. When you enter or exit, 10% is deducted from your deposit and distributed amongst HEX 2 holders. What does that mean? That's just simply hourglass. Didn't I tell y'all it was like hourglass mixed with like staking? Like, this is dope, right? You know why? Let me come back over to Power HEX. Let me show you. Boom. Alright, so to get into Power HEX is 1.1, right? And to get out, if you want to sell your Power HEX, is 0.9. That's what makes Tewkenaire HEX Tew dope, right? This 10 in, 10 out, straight clean. I love it. Now let's talk about another very, very important piece of HEX Tew that makes it very different, and I think it's gonna blow it up. Third-party games will provide an external source of revenue to the contract. So what does that mean? So that basically means you have these contracts buying HEX 2 tokens, right, and being part of this, and also probably allowing people to gamble or do whatever you want to do on other contracts with HEX tokens. So what that means is that HEX 2 is going to be increasing, right, from external sources, not just what happens in here. So what happens in here is dope enough, right, but it's also going to be increasing from the games that they're partners with. That's dope. That gets the money more because that's super dope. Alright, so let's talk about how does the staking work. Now, you see right here we got, you know, our active stakes and stake history. This looks very familiar. Does anybody know what this is? Let me give you a hint. Richard Hart. So this looks just like HEX staking, almost the exact same thing. So it's a little bit different what HEX 2 is doing, and I actually like it. So let's talk about what HEX 2 is actually doing, and why this looks so similar to the HEX staking contract, Richard Hart's contract. So staking power, also known as effective HEX, determines how many shares you get for your HEX stake. Now listen to this. When you stake in your HEX 2 tokens, you are staking the original HEX contract endorsed by Richard Hart. So what is that saying? So basically what it's saying is you're giving this HEX 2 contract the ability to make a stake on your behalf almost in the HEX staking contract. So, you know, just like HEX staking, you can put your amount in, you put how long you want it, and then it gives you your staking power. So that's really dope, right? Because it's actually using that contract. Now, it does hold you to a lot of the same standards. Like if you leave early, if you unstake early, you will lose the same amount as you would over on HEX staking for good reasons, because it's basically just using the HEX staking contract. That's dope, right? Now what happens next when you stake, right? So while your HEX 2 tokens are staked, your HEX 2 tokens will collect rewards from our stable exchange in real time. So while it's in this staking, right, so while you got all these stakes going, you're still going to be getting rewards from people coming in and out the contract. That is fire. Let's get out of money mode. Bing! Another one. Bing! Because that's super dope, right? So you're going to be staking and still being able to benefit from the exchange at 10% in, 10% out. That's fire, right? Why would you not want a lot of HEX in here? It just makes sense. Alright, anyways. So your staked HEX 2 tokens are frozen and cannot be sold. To sell, you have to unstake them. That makes sense. When you unstake, you are bound by the rules set in the original HEX contract. That means this contract. You're bound to these same rules. And let me show you guys just so you can see what happens when you take out early. So I just took this one out early, right? I was only 15% through it. I put in 1500 principal and I only got it back 1489. So you're going to be held to those same rules in HEX 2. Alright. Also, when you unstake, only profitable stakes are subjected to the 10% entry fees. Alright. So only if your stake is profitable. So once you get up here, only if you waited that amount of time that you put in, or a decent amount of time to be a profitable stake, then those will be the only ones that's subjected to this 10% entry fee. Alright, that's dope. Now, what are the fees? So on your 10% entry fee, 8% of that is going to the distribution, going to everybody, right? Going to the pot. 1% is going to the token floor. Do you know what that means? That means every time somebody buys or sells in here, it looks like you're gonna be raising a token floor of crazy, all that. So the Tewkenaire platform, the Tewkenaire ecosystem is gonna be growing with every buy and sell. That's ridiculous. That's just outlandish. And you got a 1% dev fee. So overall, so if you putting in and taking out, it's the same thing. 20% overall. 2% of that goes to the devs, 2% of that goes to the token floor, and 16% of that goes to the distribution, goes to everybody if you come in and come out the contract. And if you want to transfer, it's only a 1% transfer fee. So let's take a look. You already know, man, Money Mo, Dapp white paper gone. Let's take a look at the contract. All right, let's see what it's talking about. So you can go to Etherscan. Let's see it on Etherscan. Bing. Okay, it's already up. It's ready. So this is the Etherscan account. So it's already ready to roll. It's just waiting on time now. Alright, so that's HEX 2. Alright, that's the rundown, that's the review, man. It's gonna be dope, man. Make sure y'all get in here. I think it's gonna work out for Minnows. Alright, y'all want to hear more? Stay tuned. Alright, so let's talk about what Money Mo does not like about HEX 2. Alright, so you know, it's two things. One thing is not in Tewkenaire's control. It's not in Trayvon's control at all. So he had nothing to do with that. It's actually Richard Hart's fault. But the fact that HEX token is on the Ethereum blockchain is just a big hot mess and a half, bro. Like, it's terrible, bro. We hate ETH, bro. Especially us minnows, because our gas fees are not going to be high enough to get in early, so we're not going to get a lot of extra gains. That's a big money amount, and that's not even Trayvon the Tewkenaire's fault, but ETH blockchain is terrible. Another thing, and this could be a positive or a negative, depending on how you take it. But Tewkenaire, I understand that it's an ecosystem. I get that. But right now, it seems like it's a lot of, not, like I said, this could be taken positive or negative. But it seems like right now, Tewkenaire is built upon partnerships and cloning other dApps. Is it an ecosystem built off improving other ecosystems, which is dope? That's a lane. No knock, you know. Or is it something different and something that people will want to go to all the time and be their main source of everything Crypto Dap? You know what I'm saying? I just don't know the direction of the Tewkenaire platform. Now, let's talk about what Money Mo likes about HEX 2. It's a lot too. So first off is games, bro. Games? You partner with these other dApps that's doing games? Bing! I gotta just get out of bing, bing, bing off the top, because that's fire. I think Tewkenaire with HEX 2 is revolutionizing the ecosystem game. So essentially all they're saying is anybody that Tewkenaire partners with that allows HEX tokens to be played with in casinos or games or whatever, they're gonna own a part of HEX 2. So HEX 2 will be getting a piece of all of that. Just a small piece, but it's a piece. But that's fire though, that's dope. Alright, so another thing that Money Mo likes about HEX 2. This kind of goes to PyroHex. So PyroHex is great. It's an hourglass contract. It's gonna work. It's gonna be around. But I think HEX 2 is next level stuff, man. Like it's just next level. Like it's the next level of what these platform owners should be thinking. Like this is great. You gotta get out of Money Mo. Bing. All right. So another thing. This is a big thing I like about HEX 2. I already told y'all, man. Trayvon, sit back, see what's going on, and he get his developers together or developer together, and they add on to concepts and make it a little bit better. That's a bing, because as customers, owners, users, like we just want something that we can trust and that's reliable. That's it. We don't need too much more. So being able to do that really adds on to what Tewkenaire can do long term, and HEX Too has a lot to do with that because it's a great example about what the future could hold for Tewkenaire. Alright, it basically comes down to whichever developer or owner can figure out how to be trustworthy and reliable, and everything else will work itself out. You'll be rich forever. There's no point to scam out because you'll be rich, right? And that's where I think Trayvon and Tewkenaire is going to be legendary, because I think he gets that point. All right, so another thing I really like about HEX Too is that it's expanding Richard Hart's project. Like, it's vastly expanding it, all right? And he's also helping Richard Hart's project and his ideas by actually having HEX Too work directly with HEX staking on Richard Hart's hex.win. Like, that's dope, right? You're gonna get that a money mo bing, because that's dope. And what it is really just Richard Hart's staking idea, and he just took it to the next level and added hourglass onto it. You can't really knock that, alright? And like, if you're in HEX Too and you staking for like over 3 months, like HEX Too is gonna get you a lot more than HEX staking ever could. So it's just, how can you knock that? Like, Minnows have to get into a project like that. It has to be a part of it, alright? Richard Hart should be in love with HEX Too, with BIIIIIING Hex, what these other platforms are doing, because it's giving his coin, his token, his HEX token is giving it use cases, right? It's making it usable. Y'all want to hear more? Stay tuned. Alright, so that's HEX Too on the Tewkenaire platform. Alright, Minnows, make sure y'all get in this, man. If you're in the HEX, this is not financial advice, but get in. Alright, so for those y'all want that muddy mo minnow tip, if you're already in the HEX, if you're in HEX staking and hex.win, all I'm doing is I'm taking my stakes that are not a big payday stake and I'm unstaking it right now. Then I'm gonna take anything off the top of BIIIIIING Hex, just a little bit, not a lot out of BIIIIIING Hex. BIIIIIIING Hex is gonna be around. Then I'm taking all of that and I'm putting that into HEX Too when it drops. Alright, just a little minnow tip. Alright, so overall, HEX Too gets a muddy mo beep for being a dope platform and being innovative. Alright, y'all want to hear more? Stay tuned. Hey man, thank y'all for rocking out with me. I truly appreciate it. It's your boy Muddy Mo, aka the King of Minnows, aka the Dapp White Paper Gaw. And you've just experienced Crypto Dap Yap. Alright, now if you're interested in getting to any of these dapps, make sure you hit the links in the description below. Also, don't forget to check me out on Library, support me, tip me, and share. Alright, check me out on Steam It, check me out on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe. And last but not least, make sure y'all check me out on Telegram. Alright, Muddy Mo, Muddy Mo. Y'all want to hear more? Check out the next video.
Whose world is this? It's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Whose world